Live from the Acres Broadcast Center inside East Stadium, this is the Husker Athletic Director Show with Trev Alberts. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
One pitch, one loud bomb over the fence and left. 1-1 here. Drill to left field. That one's out of here. Dylan Carey makes it back-to-back home runs for the Cornhuskers. They lead 2-0.
1-0 Iowa State. Ralston again delivers 1-2. And Andrews swings and blasts it. Deep left center field. And gone! Home run, Brooke Andrews. And Nebraska takes the lead in the sixth.
Jay comes set. The 1-1 pitch. Little bouncer to third. Carey up with it. Fires to first. In time. And the Huskers have beaten number 7 Vanderbilt. It's Nebraska's first top 10 win since 2019 when they beat Texas Tech in the Frisco Classic. They get it done today. 2 in the bottom of the 8th to win it 5-3.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to tonight's show. What a treat for us. It's our monthly sit-down with Athletic Director Trev Alberts. If you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. We've got a lot to cover. We're kind of coming out of the crossover season. You're kind of putting to bed the winter sports, and now the spring sports are in full go. Let's just start with the winter sports. I know people have been anxious to kind of hear your thoughts about the men's and women's basketball seasons and how they ended.
Yeah, I was really pleased with those programs. Obviously, men's basketball in particular, you look at some of the change that happened this year, and I think Fred and our coaching staff did a really good job. We talked about in the last offseason, how do you win in the Big Ten? And so you looked at a team, and unfortunately they had a lot of injuries, and it was really too bad for that team. But what I was pleased with was to see the resiliency in the fight and see them stay together and see young men who ordinarily didn't have a large role on the team in the middle of the year come together. I thought they had good unity. I thought they were a much tougher team. I think they played, good defense. Obviously, still a long way to go, right? And I think the frustrating and challenging thing was that first round game in the Big Ten tournament against Minnesota. It's hard to beat the same team, more than 2 times, but thought we could make a little bit of a run there. Really was hoping to get to the NIT, but really pleased with the progress that Fred and his staff have made, and obviously this will be a really important offseason for them. And then, of course, Amy and the team. Too bad to see their season end in the NIT, and I think Izzy has already communicated her intention to head back to Australia. So this is a time of change for both of those programs. Rosters are going to be really important. I know those coaches are working really hard, but I appreciated their efforts this year.
It seemed like on the men's side, your fans really wrapped their arms around the work ethic of that team, and I think that's what kind of made them feel good about where the program was going, because they felt like they could identify with that team.
Well, we've talked about this all the time. Greg, you and I have talked about this. I talk to our coaches all the time. My experience as a student athlete here was, this incredible fan base that we have, of course they want to win. We all want to win. But to them, it's more important about how you compete. What do you look like? What's the team culture like? And I think the change for a lot of folks in watching our men's basketball team was it was a team that was more reflective of the ideals of what our fans expect and what our Nebraskans and our alumni. So hardworking, tough, together, never quit. What was that game? Was it Maryland? We were down 17 points, found a way to come back. Never out of a game, never quit, and respect all of your opponents, but fear no one. And that's across the board what I'm hoping our athletic department stands for. And I thought men's basketball made some significant strides in that area.
This is not on our list of topics that we're going to cover tonight, but I know you can handle this. It relates to NIL, because both Fred and Amy are dealing with athletes that are not from the United States. And currently the way NIL is set up, they can't benefit from that. Jazz Shelley on the women's side, Casey obviously on the men's side. I know there was congressional hearings today. Not sure I trust those folks, but they were talking about NIL. Do you sense maybe there's a chance that some of these foreign athletes who compete over here may get a chance to take advantage of NIL down the road?
I absolutely do. And quite frankly, we've got a whole team of folks led by Jamie Vaughn in our compliance department that are working really hard. And so we've made a tremendous amount of progress in that area. And I'm not sure the totality of it, but I do believe even today that our international students are beginning to benefit from name, image, and likeness. And we've got more work to do there. I don't want to, because I know the exact information about what their ability is, but a totally different picture today than what it was even 1 year ago, in large part because of the effort of our team, and not only our team in athletics, but across our campus. It's an unfair position for those international students to find themselves in, and anything we can do to help affect the change that's necessary so that they can monetize their name, image, and likeness will be important for student athletes moving forward.
Very good. And again, basketball is such an international sport. That's going to come up a lot more than maybe.
But it impacts our tennis programs. It impacts a lot of our programs. I think average fan might miss just how many international student athletes we have within the athletic department. It's a higher percentage than I thought.
Husker wrestling, your thoughts about Mark Manning's team? We had Mikey Labriola made it to a national championship match. He didn't win, finished second, but your thoughts about the way that season ended?
Appreciate Mark a lot. Just a dedicated servant of Husker athletics. He's a hard worker. I think he has a great culture in his wrestling program. I think they continue to take the next step. Obviously a little bit, but still a top 10 finish nationally. In the Big Ten, that's a very difficult, wrestling conference. And so, in knowing Coach Manning, saw him at lunch today. He's one of those pleased but not satisfied guys, right? Happy with where the program is, sees potential. I think he's really excited about a lot of the young wrestlers in his program. And so really proud of the wrestling program, had a great finish, and they'll be strong next year, and we'll continue supporting wrestling and doing everything we can to help Coach Manning and his coaching staff take the next step.
About 6 weeks ago, you removed the interim tag from Justin St. Clair's title as track and field coach. They had a tremendous finish to the indoor. I think they launched the outdoor season this week at the Texas Relays. But how about the way track and field competed both at the Big Tens and the NCAA indoors? Yeah,
Coach St. Clair and that staff did a great job as well. I mean, we finished higher than we finished in a long time. And, I think we ended up, we had 8 first-team All-Americans. We had 2 NCAA runner-ups. Men's finished 8th, women 14th. I'm excited about the outdoor because, quite frankly, in some of the strengths, in the throws area, there's more opportunities for us. And I think you're going to see our track and field programs finish even higher in the outdoor season. So, Coach Pepin, still around, was up in the administrative, saw him up. He continues to come by, and he'll work out and get some exercise there. And just so appreciative of what Gary did to build that program. And I know he feels great with Coach St. Clair now taking that program, taking the reins, trying to continue to build it and grow it and make it special.
Those kind of finishes I know are important to you because you keep an eye on those all sports points and cups that they put out every year, and it's important for Nebraska, in your eyes, I think, to have a well-rounded athletic department.
Well, it is. I've said this many times. We're in a competition business, and we're in it to win. We are resourced the right way. We're spending the necessary resources to be competitively successful, not in one sport or two. Quite frankly, our job administratively is to continue to knock down any of those areas of excuses that we can come up with. And our incredible fan base, the support that we get, being in the Big Ten Conference, quite frankly, gives us little room or little margin for error in the sense of there are no excuses. And so we're pushing hard. We don't want to just win in the pool or on the court or on the field. We want to win in every aspect of the student-athlete experience, and that's our culture here. And we have really competitive coaches, and this is an evolving landscape in intercollegiate athletics. Nebraska's positioned well, and I'm very, very pleased with the progress that I've seen across the board. Other sports as well. Bowling is 3rd in the country right now. Men's gymnastic is 5th nationally, going to be competing in the Big Tens. Rifle is 6th nationally. So we're going to continue taking those steps, incremental steps, and there's no reason why we can't have broad-based success at the University of Nebraska.
Dorothy Lynch, home style, light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. Trev Alberts with us for the entire hour tonight. A lot to get to. Just kind of putting a bow on some of the spring sports or winter sports that have wrapped up as we get closer to spring and championships in some of the outdoor sports like golf, tennis, baseball, softball, those type of things as well, and spring football. And they're a week or so into spring practice. I know you've been out and caught a few spring workouts for the guys. What are your initial reactions to seeing this coaching staff out on a football field with these guys now?
Well, it's been fun to watch Coach Rule and our coaching staff. You know, you try to anticipate what might practice look like. Obviously, leading up to spring ball in terms of all the recruiting and all the things administratively that they've done have been really, really good. It's a big transition when you come to a new staff, but to watch them get out on the field, to see them coach, the energy, you know, you don't want to get too excited. We've only had 3 days of padded practice, but there's energy. There's some physicality, there's some change. We had a lot of former players on Saturday come back and get to attend the practice. I think we had 175 or so former players, and so great to see them trying to bring people together. And I know Coach Rule, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he's really pleased with the talent level, pleased with the want to of the student athletes, and I think that's half the battle. We've got a good culture there, good leadership, and so we've got a lot of new, additions in the transfer portal. I know you're going to have an interview with Jeff Sims later, and a great young man. So I think they've done a great job of assimilating the new folks in with our existing roster, creating that new roster. Of course, we've got a new offense, new defense, not a lot to learn, but it's a clean slate for everybody, so everybody feels like they have a realistic chance to make a contribution, and I'm bullish and excited about this team. You
had a fun sitting down a few weeks ago with Coach Rural on one side of you, Coach Osborne on the other side of you. I mean, you were probably a kid in the candy store in that room, weren't you?
It was an incredible honor. I got to give Coach Rural all the credit. I mean, that was his idea. It was not my idea. He has a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Osborne. And again, not speaking for him, but just in observing, and the thing that I really appreciate about Matt, when I watch him, I mean, he legitimately is trying to learn. I know he's talked to multiple coaches that have coached here, and what did you experience? And it's been done here before. And so just to see the two of them, again, I think you can see if you watch the video what I saw as part of the recruitment process. There's this core fundamental belief and culture at the University of Nebraska. And as Matt talks, it's like, wow, that's what we believe. And that's what I was drawn to, and it's nice seeing them, make the connection. And I'll tell you, Coach Osborne just means the world to me. He did more for me than I ever deserve. But, just his wisdom, his intelligence, his view of the world, and philosophically, beyond X's and O's, his strategic vision and innovation are next level. And I'm just really interested in seeing what Coach Rule and his staff can do, to again continue to think about innovating and going to the next level with our program. But sitting down with the two of them was a dream. It was 48 minutes long. It felt like it was about 3 minutes. That's unedited. And we just sat and talked, and it was incredible.
Fantastic. Question in the chat room for you, if you could give us, everybody, an update on the Go Big project. Are you on schedule?
Yep, things are going well, and looking out right now. They're still working, and the project looks great. We're able to have prospective student athletes go through there and their families in recruiting. The football component stuff is on track and on time. That will all be open prior to the start of fall camp. Obviously, what we're really focused on is there's a lot of disruption when you think about trying to move an entire program. We wouldn't want to do that in the middle of the season. So making sure all the football specific stuff is done prior to the fall camp. There might be some different things like the training table, academic support, and all of that. The good news is we have that existing programming already in the stadium. So those areas might be done a little bit later, 3 or 4 months later. But, the budget is intact, which is really important. We still have some work to do, obviously, but really pleased with where that's at. This is going to be a game changer.
And you've got some work going on in the stadium as well. You're redoing that club section on the east side.
Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit. I would have preferred to have, as we've talked about the stadium, one holistic, one communication strategy about how we're doing what we're doing. The east stadium piece, which was really necessitated by the fact that we needed some waterproofing in there, the concrete, we had to, from some maintenance perspective, Greg, go in there. The plan was always to transition those seats into club seats. So those are being transitioned into club seats. We've had a great response there. We're working hard with those that have chosen not to remain in those seats, because obviously it's a different price level for club seats. And we're going to do our best to make sure that we can find comparable and good seats for all of our fans.
So that's going to reduce capacity for the spring game. That whole section is going to be off limits, right? So you won't be able to get 85,000, but it looks like ticket sales are going pretty well for that.
Yeah, we're approaching 52,000 already.
Great.
And just want to remind our fans that we'd like them. It's $10 now, and day of game is obviously I think $20. So want to encourage all of our fans to get to the spring game. Excited about what Coach Rule and the staff are going to put together. I think our fans are really going to appreciate the entire day. Obviously, we always look for good weather and those types of things, but it's going to be a great day of celebration.
We've heard, and if you went to some of the basketball games, you heard some of the announcements about a chance for you to get on a wait list for Husker football tickets. Are you getting much response for that?
We have, I believe it's one of the highest waiting list numbers we've had in a long time. We have almost 9,000 people on the waiting list for season tickets. And so it's a palpable, energy surrounding what Coach Rule has done and his coaching staff. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about the renewed energy. And obviously we need to earn it on the field. There's a lot of talk. But the reality is, I think, again, part of what I think has been really great about Coach Rule and our staff is their ability and willingness to work hard to connect in the community, spend time getting out to local high schools. This is Nebraska's team, right? And giving them some ownership and allowing them to feel like they're a part of it, I think has been really important. So about 9,000 folks on that waiting list.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Husker Nation never ceases to amaze me. All right, folks, 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, and you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. The spring game, 3 weeks from Saturday. We talked about the ticket sales. Coming up next, an announcement you're going to want to know about. Pretty exciting event surrounding the spring game. We'll tell you about that next.
You ain't seen nothing.
This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
It's time again for some Nebraska farm facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Baseball season has arrived, and your local Cenex has all your favorite snacks and beverages for the game. So whether you're hitting the road for an away game, headed to Haymarket Park, or going to cheer on your favorite local team, make Cenex your destination for top quality fuel, your favorite snacks, and service from a local smile. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally at Cenex.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new. It's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Husker fans, don't miss your chance to get a first look at new head coach Matt Rule and the 2023 Husker football team. Be in Memorial Stadium on Saturday, April 22nd for the annual Nebraska football red and white spring game presented by FNBO. Tickets are on sale now and are only $10 when purchased in advance and $20 on the day of the game. To secure your tickets today or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
One of the Nebraska Lottery's most explosively fun promotions is back. Cash Blast. Until April 18th, buy a 2x2 ticket, enter the voucher number, and you could win $5,000 or $500. If your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket or a multiple of 7 ticket, your prize is doubled. There will be 7 weekly drawings and 14 total winners in Cash Blast. So play today. You'll have a blast. But that goes without saying. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
Find your next vehicle during Truck Month at Woodhouse Ford. From powerful engines to smart technology, there's a Ford truck to fit all aspects of your life. Experience for yourself why Ford has been America's best-selling truck for 46 years. Receive 0% APR for 36 months and $1,000 bonus cash on the 2023 Ford F-150 XLT. Shop our 3 convenient locations in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth, or online anytime at woodhouse.com. With approved credit, see dealer for details. Expires 3/31/23.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. 402-413-2400, the number to call us up with a comment or question. I mentioned going to the break that you're going to have some exciting events that surround the spring game. And this is one you've been working on for maybe since the day you took the job.
Yeah, it's something I'm really passionate about and I'm really excited about. And so we mentioned we've got about 52,000 tickets already sold for the spring game. And tonight we're going to get to announce that we're going to have a special guest at the spring game. And I'm really excited. Frank Solich and his family are going to join us. And we're going to have an opportunity to honor Frank and his family. Not going to release this now. We'll also have another special announcement at the spring game concerning Frank. But I'd just really like to encourage Husker fans to help us make it really special. And yeah, we've been working on this a while. And but I think it's time, and really looking forward to Husker Nation honoring Frank and thanking him for everything he's done as a player, as a coach. And also honor him for what he did after he left here. I mean, Frank is a college football Hall of Famer in terms of what he accomplished as a coach. An incredible person. And so, yes, after a lot of work, we're going to be really excited to get to honor Frank Solich at the spring game.
He was on the staff when you played. He was the running backs coach, and you would have been on the other side of the ball. But you obviously spent some time in rooms with him. And I think people have tried to get Frank to come back. I think they want to give him a hug, Trev. I really do. And I get it. I understand where he probably feels that it didn't work here or he was let go from here, but congratulations. That's a big, big get to bring him back.
Well, you know, we've first of all, he's an incredible person. He is one of the most humble people you will ever meet. And, you know, in many of our conversations, I think one of the ways that I got to turn the corner a little bit is, you know, he would continue to say, Trev, it's just not me. You know, I don't want that. And it finally dawned on me, and I said, you know, Frank, what if I told you it's not about you? What if I told you it's about the fans? And our fans want to. And, you know, that gave him pause. But I will say, you know, and I don't want to go too far here, but in the last 2 years, you know, you and I were talking about this prior to the show. I watched this place from afar, my 12 years in Omaha prior to that, and I watched the fragmentation in so many areas. Fragmentation in our fan base, when one coach was fired, when they didn't think he should be fired, and then the next coach was hired, and that was the wrong coach. And we had former players, and we had all this fragmentation. And if there's anything Coach Osborne was so good at communicating, at least that made such an impact on me, was the power of unity and unity of purpose. And we would talk about how we may not be the most talented team, but if we're the most unified team, because, you know, and that's why teamwork is one of our core values. We don't let anybody put their own personal self-interest ahead of what's in the best interest of the team. And so this concept of, I've watched incredibly gifted teams accomplish very little. I've also watched marginally talented teams change the world because they were unified. And so I've just been really focused on how can we find a way. We're a small population state. The only chance we have is to have unity. And so now to find ourselves, you know, I think Coach Rule's done, and part of why he's here is because he's a guy that brings people together. And so to have a fan base right now that's, you know, maybe not 100% unified, but not fractured. We have a former players. I think Matt Rule's done a great job of bringing them together. As I said, we had all these former players, different generations. He spoke to the former players. It was powerful in the team meeting room about unity. And so, you know, having Coach Osborne be in part, and now having Coach Solich, you know, I haven't been 100% successful. There's other areas that we're still trying to bring together. But this place is at its best when we're unified, and it's our only chance. And so I'm just so grateful to Coach Solich, and our athletic department is committed. We're going to do everything we can to make that weekend extraordinarily special for Frank and Pam and the entire family.
I think you just sold some tickets for the spring game with that there.
Let's get it sold out.
Yeah. The wait list we talked about in the other segment, there's a deadline, right? April 1st, I think, is the deadline.
Correct.
So, folks, if you want to get on that, you got about 3 days left to get that done before that happens there as well. Question in the chat room. Coach Rural yesterday, I'm getting all my coaches mixed up here. Coach Rural yesterday talked about why he doesn't have anybody wearing a single-digit number. He wants that to be earned and voted on by the players. Someone in the chat room wants your thoughts about that deal.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I hadn't heard a lot about that, hadn't thought about that. And after thinking about it, it makes sense, you know, in the sense that so much of what I'm watching Coach Rule do is create this culture of competitive excellence, right? And everything is a competition. Every drill is a competition. Everything we do is a competition. And in the end, again, those are numbers that have to be earned. That's special. It's not unlike earning the right to have a black shirt as a starting defensive player. And so it's different, it's new, it's innovative, it's a different tradition, and I'm fully supportive of Coach Rule and his staff as they're trying to build a culture of competitive excellence. And I know that's going to generate significant effort and interest in players who want to earn the right. Those are going to be special young men who represent the ideals of a culture that Coach Rule feels strongly about.
Traditions are huge to fan bases. Your thoughts about continuing and maybe trying to start one, and this may be a start of one for Matt.
Well, it's been the thing that I've really enjoyed. You mentioned the sit down, you know, with Coach Osborne, and one of the things that Coach Rule has asked me about is how do we, like he respects and wants to honor everything about Nebraska football. And we're going to do everything we can to do that. At the same time, how do we move forward? How do we innovate? How do we think differently? If we're doing the same thing in 2023 as we did in 1988, we might not be successful. So we need to earn the trust to be able to do those sorts of things. And I think part of that is respecting past traditions. You then get some flexibility to create new ones. And I'm excited about it.
Very good. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Need to step aside, getting that a break in when we come back. Trev has been busy on not only working for here, but doing some stuff on the NCAA level on their competition and football oversight committee. Some interesting things headed down the pike. We're going to talk about that coming up next. To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. For the 5th straight year, the University of Nebraska system is a top 100 patent-earning institution. NU system researchers were granted 43 patents in 2021, with UNL researchers named as inventors on 25 of these patents. Husker patents include 3 projects with partners at the University of Nebraska Medical Center and 6 patents for a surgical robot developed by faculty in the College of Engineering.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
You ain't seen nothing.
This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Athletic Director Trev Alberts with us until the top of the hour. Text lines 402-413-2400. Carla on the text line. Excellent news on Frank Solich. Many thanks, Athletic Director Alberts, for completing something that needed to be done. That's outstanding. John in Kansas. Frank, I love Frank Solich. So there you go. You made a lot of people's night.
Well, it's a group effort, and again, most and all the credit goes to Coach Solich, and just so pleased that he's willing to join us, and we're going to have a special day. It's going to be a special weekend, and you think about if we have some great weather, it's later, it's April 22nd. We've got a new coach, Coach Solich back. It's going to be a lot. We got a lot to celebrate, a lot to honor, and we're going to have a little bit of fun.
No doubt. All right, another text coming in for you. Do you have a concert announcement yet to make about the that it coincides with the volleyball event?
No, we don't. We don't have a signed contract yet, and so we're working hard on that. We do have, some things in mind, but until we have a signed contract, we really can't publicly release it. But looking forward to that. We will have a great experience for those fans as well, and it'll be exciting.
Very good. I teased this going into the break. You sit on a couple of football committees, the oversight committee, the game competition. Tell us about, one, what those are like, and two, there are going to be some tweaks to college football as regards to the clock. What can you update our folks on with that?
Well, first of all, I thought it was just rookie hazing as part of the Big Ten Conference, but no, I do. It's I take it seriously. We had a head coaches call this morning at 7 o'clock. And so as representative of the Football Oversight Committee, giving updates. And first of all, one of the things that we're trying to do is bring some sanity, for our head coaches. When you think about all of the changes that have happened, you look at the transfer portal and early signing date. So really taking a hard look. We've done a lot of surveys on the recruiting calendar. What makes sense? How do we get our coaches off the road a little bit? How do we get them spending more time with the students we actually have here? And as you can imagine, if you're a coach with a transfer portal, relationships with the guys you have on your roster are going to be pretty important. So we want to bring some sanity to it, and we're working through all of that. That's on the Football Oversight Committee. The other thing that we've worked hard on there is to look at the structure of the Football Oversight Committee. Obviously, there's FCS schools and FBS schools. We live in two different worlds. So they're not wrong. They're just different. So giving some more autonomy to the FBS schools to deal with the things that we're dealing with. So there'll be some structural changes there. And then the competition committee has looked hard at, how do we take some plays out of our game? When you think about college football, the number of plays that are happening. Of course, maybe our coaches have talked a little bit about huddling, but you look at the number of plays in the NFL versus a number of plays in college, and how do we speed up our game? How do we make it more fan-friendly? How do we take some unnecessary hits out of the game? And so there's been several proposals that have been out there, and I do think that we've asked for some feedback from our coaches as well. That'll go through our compliance. But three real main things: running the clock after first downs.
That's an NFL deal,
That's
too.
an NFL deal.
Right.
No back-to-back timeouts, and so the icing the kicker sort of component where you have 3 timeouts, that would be out loud. That no untimed downs at the end of the first and third quarter. So, it doesn't seem like much, but I think we can constantly look at tweaking some things as we move forward that can make our game a little bit more fan-friendly, eliminate the consistent stops, make it move a little bit quickly. Obviously, there's consideration for your media partners as well, but also health and safety of the players, and how do we get unnecessary extra plays out of our game. So, these are interesting conversations. I enjoy being on them, and hopefully we're doing some good for the game.
Yeah, I'm sure the media partners kind of want some windows to be identified. They don't want to miss the first quarter and a half of another game because you've got one game going because there's been so many stoppages of play. That probably does factor into it, and that's why they're writing some pretty significant checks to conferences like the Big Ten.
Well, it has to be a component of it. It can't be the driving force, and quite frankly, we had presentations from the media, and the media themselves are not driving, demanding. That's not it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we've watched our, length of game time continue to creep, and at some point we have to start finding ways to at least slow down the creep or reverse that course. And we can't allow our game get to a 4-hour games, and then you look at the passing game and how much more passings is part of our as time have changed. So again, we're just looking at some of these tweaks. It's a hard thing to gain consensus. There's the way that maybe the Big Ten looks at some of these things is different than maybe what the American Conference, the Sun Belt, or the MAC, and so challenging topics, but I think the health and safety of football players is a real priority, and that's something we all agree on.
The NFL has been consistently able to keep their games right around that 3-hour window thing. Let's go to Portland, Oregon, and Bill. Good evening, Bill. You're up with Trev Alberts.
Yeah, I was going to ask this of Greg, but I'll ask this of Trev. What do you think about do you think the colleges will someday adopt the NFL rule of point after touchdowns where the extra point is kicked from the 20 or 22-yard line?
Yeah, it's a good question, Bill, and I'm glad you bring that up. That has not, as of today, come to the rules committee or competition committee that I'm aware of. I know that the college game is not trying to be the NFL game, right? I mean, I think there's things that we can learn from each other. There's things in instant replay that college is kind of figuring out that perhaps the NFL does a little bit better. But as of today, I have not heard about an effort to follow the NFL in terms of how they do extra point kicks.
Questions in the chat room if you have any update on future Big Ten football scheduling with the addition of the Los Angeles schools.
Well, as I mentioned this morning, we were on a call with the Big Ten football coaches, and we have multiple models, and we are diving into that. We do not have consensus. And of course, there's, let's just be honest, part of this is as we move to a 12-team playoff, at the end of the day, what conferences are going to try to do, which we should all be doing, is how many teams can we get into the college football playoff? There's a financial incentive to that, and of course, so we really want to be thoughtful and think about that. We have rules in place from years past that we're rethinking in terms, it used to be a rule you couldn't play an FCS team every year, you had to do this. I think some of those things are being reevaluated. I think the one thing we can recognize is this. It doesn't matter what model we come up with on scheduling, Greg. Every team is looking at their schedule saying, oh my gosh. And so that's what I said this morning to our coaches. We're in the Big Ten. We're adding USC and UCLA. There's no model that you're going to find where you're going to say, oh good, this is a winnable schedule. Every single week is going to be a dogfight. And that's why, as we talked about this coaching change, the attention to detail is going to be so critically important, because these games are going to be won or lost on very thin margins. And that's where I'm confident that Coach Rule and his staff are going to help us navigate that. So a long answer to a simple question. We're not there yet. We're working on it. We are getting together again as ADs, and at some point we will have to get that done. We have 3 basic proposals that we're working through, and we have not settled on one in particular.
Very good. Folks, do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. One more segment with Trev. We'll get to that next.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Find your next truck during truck season at Woodhouse Chevy. Whether you are shopping in-store or online, we provide a stress-free, streamlined process that's tailored to meet your needs. Save during truck season and receive 0% APR for 36 months plus $1,000 cash allowance and no monthly payment for 90 days on the 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500. Find new roads with Woodhouse Chevy, in-store or online at woodhousegm.com. WEC, see dealer for details, expires 4/3/23.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
You ain't seen nothing. This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
First Interstate Bank, built for you. Learn more at www.firstinterstatebank.com. Member FDICs. A few minutes left with Trev, our March Athletic Director show. Let's pick off another caller. Stay in Lincoln. Jason, you're up next with Trev. Good evening.
Hey, Trev.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I got two small questions. One, a while back, you said something about having more of a unified brand across like Husker athletics and uniforms. I wonder if you have any update on that. And the second I have this might be kind of hard to do, but if there's an opportunity for the general public to tour the new facility when it's done, or if that's just not able, or if that's just not possible.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Jason, and I appreciate those two questions. First, I'll start with the last one. Well, we're going to still try to figure out how that works, and I know part of the Go Big is going to have in the lobby an open space for the public that'll be open at all the times. One of the things that I want to see is, you've got the locker room there that's fairly wide open. We just have to see, there's obviously some privacy issues with athletic medicine and all that, but we're going to do the best we can to have our facilities accessible to our fans. We want to do it. We want people to feel a part of the program. At the same time, we have to, look at some privacy issues and how it all works. So I don't have any specific information today. We'll do the best that we can. I know for sure that parts of it are going to be open to the public, some of which may not be. On the brand, yeah, it's we're working hard on that, and Alana Hendricks, who manages our brand, works with me hand in hand. We're continuing to narrow our focus there. One of the things, and I'll be sharing this with our all staff in our meeting in April, is as we look at our business operations and we look at making sure we run as clean and good a business as we can, we actually have now all of the data that supports what sales are good and how much revenue we make off of those marks and brand. So at the end of the day, and our fans speak in that manner, right? So at the end of the day, if we're not consistent in our brand, it isn't about control. It's not about, a lot of it has to do with our business operations. How do we best manage our brand and monetize it in a way that's, and we have very specific data. So you're going to see continued movement towards that. Our primary logo is the N. We play for the University of Nebraska. We have specific colors. We are the Cornhuskers. We're also the Huskers, but we're going to be more consistent across the board. We do have some grandfathered in things that we need to be respectful of. At the same time, I think we can do a better job. When you turn on the television, I want people to know that that's the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And then I think we can be, when it's appropriate, we don't always have to have a throwback uniform every year in football. If there's something special like we have this year, we have a 100-year anniversary, well then let's celebrate and let's do something special. So I think you'll see continued movement that way. We've made good progress. We're not where we need to be, and we'll continue making moves in that way, and most of it is surrounding running a good business.
Have a minute left. 2 volleyball questions for you. Gus and Lincoln, are you going to establish a ticket limit for the volleyball event? We're season ticket holders, and we have several people who would like to join us for that. And then a second one, do you have any information about parking tailgating the day of that volleyball event?
Yeah, Gus, I really appreciate that, and that's a great point. And I will say this, so our team has talked about how do we, our season ticket holders some way have to have some priority, right? We have to, I have not thought about limiting the number of tickets. I'll bring that up with the team. The other piece is this, and parking is going to be a challenge, and I don't want to. I've had some conversations with President Carter about some things that we can do. This is going to be a transformational thing for our campus in the middle of classes. So I don't have any announcements there, but I am working with campus leadership on finding ways. I also want to be able to allow people from western Nebraska the time to get here and be able to celebrate with us. So we'll continue working on that. Hopefully we can have an announcement later about how we handle some of that. But those are great points, and I'm really glad that he called in and brought that up.
Very good. Trev, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. This is fun.
Our Sports Alley Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or do it online at woodhouse.com. Hour 2 of Sports Alley on the other side. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Bring even more action to your drive when you purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Buick GMC. From dependable SUVs to durable trucks, we have something for everyone. Drive with purpose in the 2023 GMC Terrain or discover just how tough the GMC Sierra 1500 can be. Plus, receive no monthly payments for 90 days on your next GMC vehicle. Explore our current inventory in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade. WC, see dealer for details, expires 4/3/23.
Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Our sports ticker brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Former Husker Derek Walker has been invited to play in the NABC All-Star Game in Houston on Friday. Walker is the first Husker since James Palmer to be invited to play. The game is at 3:30 Friday. Will be televised on the CBS Sports Network. Penn State hired VCU coach Mike Rhodes. The Nittany Lions were replacing Micah Shrewsbury, who left last week for the head coaching job at Notre Dame. Husker bowling received a bid to the NCAA tournament today. The Huskers are the 4th overall seed. They're headed to Pittsburgh April the 7th and the 8th. Nebraska will be looking to claim their 7th national championship. Major League Baseball's opening day tomorrow. Jake Myers expected to break camp with Houston and Aaron Bummer with the White Sox. The 1890 Initiative helping Husker student athletes navigate name, image, and likeness. To learn more or donate, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for an open hour of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The 0-2 pitch. Drilled to left field. Going back is Calvin Hewitt looking up, and it is gone. Home run. Garrett Anglem, and the Huskers have the lead 4-3.
And the rebound, Izzy Bourne dribbles out of a double team. Kroll, top of the key. 3. You betcha. Off the assist from Izzy Bourne.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Well, we're here. Jessica and I are here for another hour. So, yeah, I know the excitement is, I mean, we're not Trev Alberts. We can't do that. But, man, what a lot we packed in that last hour. The big announcement, Frank Solich is going to come back and be recognized at the Husker spring game. This is something the folks have been wanting for a long, long time. We covered a lot of ground in the last 60 minutes.
There was a lot packed in there. I was trying to keep up over here, but you can tell how much that meant to Trev. He he got impassioned about it, talking about getting him back here and watching this program from afar and seeing the fractions that had taken place just with the different changes. And it meant a lot to him to get to bring him back. And, I thought it was cool, too, that when the conversation started being had, that when it was brought up that the fans really want to see you back, that Frank, that's kind of what sold him on coming back here. Because, I know I'm still pretty new here. I've been here for almost 2 years, but that we get a lot of text messages about Coach Solich and how much he's meant to this place. And so I think now that the time has passed, now's the time to get to bring him back. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
His firing was really a marker for the program, and he had a bad season, made some changes to his staff. They had a pretty good year. Bo Pelini was his defensive coordinator. He brought Barney Cotton in as the offensive coordinator. They made progress, and yet the powers to be at the time decided it wasn't enough and fired Frank. And we've really kind of struggled since that point in time, although I will argue with anybody that I thought Bo had a pretty good run here as head coach. But I know because Frank played here, coached here for Tom for so many years, and then was the head coach, he means a lot to this fan base, and they want to go properly recognize him one more time.
And just talking with players that played for him or certain people that worked for him. I even have talked to people that I knew from Oklahoma that worked with him at Ohio. He is just so well respected and appreciated. And he's a coach that has changed a lot of people's lives in his leadership and what he's done for the players that he's coached, for the people that he's led. And so I think just his legacy is so tremendous. And I've never met him, but I just have seen him from afar. I've known people that played for him from the state of Oklahoma. I've talked to people from here. And then just the people that I've been able to chat with here at Nebraska that played for him and how much they appreciate him. So it definitely a huge legacy, and so great that it's going to be able to we're going to be able to make that happen. And how exciting is that whole day going to be, just with the new era of Husker football and then the special things and the events that are taking place around it. It's going to be a great day. I'm so happy for this fan base, and I'm happy for this program that they've been able to make it happen. Obviously, it meant a lot to Trev, too.
Now we just need good weather. We need a decent weather day,
Channeling it. 70s.
It's gotta be.
70s or 80s. Come on. I won't even be picky. I won't even say 80s. I'll say 70s. We're good with 70s. Come on.
Good. So that was cool that he was able to talk about that. And, he was hesitant because he and I were talking during the break about talking about he goes, oh, people will think that's boring that I'm on the oversight committee or I go, no, that's what people love hearing, that there might be some tweaks to the game. And I think those of us who love college football, that's interesting stuff. I'm glad we were able to get into that for a
Well,
little
and how
bit.
many times do we hear, like, you know, this needs to change, or are we watching a game and wishing that something could be tweaked? And, well, what's being done to do that? Well, here's our AD that's involved with that process right now. And so just knowing that there are conversations being had to be able to make some of those changes and where it is at this point in time is always great. So, yeah, I mean, I always find it fascinating, and I think most people that are college football fans are intrigued to hear where things are going at this point.
Well, here's what we have coming up here this hour. Here in a few minutes, our buddy Damon Benning is going to join us. Damon, his position coach was Frank Solich, so we're going to get his initial thoughts about Frank coming back for the spring game. We're also going to hear from Jeff Sims. You talked to him after practice earlier this week, and man, Matt Rule's press conference yesterday, every time he gets up and talks, there's like a zillion storylines that come out of that, and one we hit on with Trev, and that's why there's no single-digit numbers. Jessica, I love his plan for that. I think that's so cool. He's going to make the guys earn them and let the team vote, and the first guy that gets voted can pick which one he wants, if he wants one. He may not want one.
Yeah, and he did that at Baylor, and then Coach Aranda kept it, and it was it went over so well there, and the guys really embraced it, and it was a mark of honor. And
Yes.
you knew that those guys that were wearing the single digits were the dudes in that locker room. They were the guys that played the hardest, that they had earned that. I mean, it meant a lot. And then then you wear it with a sense of pride, and then it just overall, again, another way to motivate, to inspire, and it just all these little things that kind of add up. But if that means a lot to someone to wear a single digit, then they get to wear that. I mean, it's another cool incentive that's happening, and it was a mark of honor for those guys when they got to wear it at Baylor, and then it was so well taken and accepted that Coach Aranda kept it on when he went over to Baylor. So, yeah, I think it's cool, and I can't wait to see how that unfolds. Do we know when that will be announced?
He said after spring ball, before fall camp, they're going to let the team vote and say, okay, we voted player Y as the toughest guy on the team or whatever. So player Y gets to choose. And I'm fascinated by, let's say a Gabe Ervin or a Luke Reimer gets picked. Would they switch numbers to go get one of those, or are they okay with their current numbers? I don't know. I don't know how those guys would react to that.
It'll also be interesting, too, like Brian Buschini, would he be voted one?
Absolutely.
Which he just switched his number, by the way. But again, certain numbers mean certain things to
people.
Right. And so just because they're not wearing that single digit doesn't mean they either weren't voted on it or they didn't earn it. But there's some sentimental meaning to a lot of numbers for a lot of guys, and so maybe it was they voted on it. I'd be interested to hear that if maybe a guy got voted on it and just didn't.
I'm good.
Wanted to stick with his number that he
Obviously,
had.
offensive linemen can't. By rule, they can't wear single digits. They've got to wear a certain number. So there are some parameters on that.
What if
some
Turner
guys
Corcoran ran out there with zero?
Zero. So there are some parameters to who could actually wear 0 through 9 on their jerseys. But the whole thing fascinates me to no end. I can't wait for that to all take place. And I love the fact that it's a team vote. It's not the coaches who get to pick. The team gets to pick who they think is going to be able to do that. So I thought that was really fast. And then I loved his hook, Jessica, about, we'll recruit a kid, and a recruit will go, hey, I want to wear the number 5. Okay, great. You're going to have to go earn it. But, yeah, good. You're going to have to, but not this promise, because that's big to some kids. They want a certain number.
Well, and they might be wearing a certain number that some star freshman is wearing, and you can't, hey, sorry, that's just. But it's also what you know coming into it. You understand that that's what the program is, and hey, 1 through 9 or 0 through 9. I'm sorry, that's how this program works. You're going to have to earn it in a different way to be able to wear that number.
We also heard about a couple of more position changes, and one really intrigued me. It's a guy that I've really liked, and that's A.J. Rollins, who I remember talking to him last June, kind of in the lead up, and I thought he had a really good spring game at tight end. They have moved him to kind of a defensive end spot. He's built like he could play that pretty well, and Matt Rule goes, he's really excited us with what we've seen from him at that position. So they continue to kind of tweak with some guys a little bit.
And I think that's an area that they need some help in, and maybe some explosive guys. He obviously is super athletic, has shown some explosiveness, and so probably have seen some flashes of how much have we heard this coaching staff say that about finding guys where they fit and where they can make the most impact, where they can maybe have the longest future at the next level. And so if they've seen some flashes of certain things that could not only help this program but also help this young man's future, I mean, obviously they've seen it. And I do think that's an area that they probably need to build some depth. I think they're working in some new guys, and we'll see how some of the young guys come along, but I'm excited to see. I cannot wait to see how it all unfolds on the spring game, but then also into the fall, how some of these guys actually move into that position and embrace that position and grow in that spot, how much of an impact they can make.
Jaleel Martin, another guy they put him in gray jerseys, which means they're going to go back and forth offense to defense. Jaleel Martin, who Travis Fisher, the previous defensive backs coach, was a huge fan of him. As a safety, a young guy from Chicago, thinks he's got a potential to be a professional football player. They're going to try him a little bit at wide receiver or tight end. So they're kind of making him move around a little bit as well.
I remember that everybody being really excited about him. But, if you have some of that, whatever that it is that these coaches see and potential to really be your fit and to be able to really take off, we'll see how it all unfolds.
Well, it was a great day yesterday. Tomorrow, we will have a full practice report for you tomorrow night on the program. We're going to hear from a couple defensive coaches, Evan Cooper, who handles the secondary, and then Terrence Knighton, who's the defensive line coach. You're going to meet with the media tomorrow. We'll have a full boat of that for you tomorrow night on the program as well. So that should be entertaining to hear from those two guys. Evan Cooper, I'm convinced he's kind of the wingman for Matt Rule. I mean, every time I see Coach Rule, Evan's not far off. And I'm not talking about just on the football field. I'm talking about if I see him at a basketball game or at a sporting event or just walking around the hallway. Those two are kind of connected at the hip. I think there's a great relationship between those two.
Yes, and it goes very, very far back. I mean, obviously Evan played for him at Temple, but once Evan decided to get on that career path, and I think he moved through. He was a recruiting guy before, but I was told by a couple of people that worked with him at Baylor right away that this is a guy that means a lot to Matt Rule, was really tight with him at Baylor, did a lot of things for him at Baylor, and then became a secondary coach. And so he was the guy, one of the two guys, Corey Campbell and Evan Cooper, were the two guys that Matt Rule brought with him on his opening day press conference. And I think there's certain things that Coach Rule probably doesn't even have to say to Coach Cooper. He just knows. But then also Emmanuel Brenton, who I talked to about the track athletes, but then also we've heard Coach Rule say it now, but just the way that Coach Cooper watches film like crazy. He is always watching film, but then he also can see things on film that not a lot of people see, that this staff wants, and the type of athlete that they see in the film that not everybody does, but Evan Cooper has that eye. And so Matt Rule trusts, if Evan Cooper pulls up some film and says, hey, this is a guy we want, Matt Rule doesn't even have to watch that film. He knows that that's a guy that we want. And so there's so many layers to that, being his right-hand guy and being that guy that he can rely on in so many different ways, but that's just an example of it, I think, even just in terms of the film watching part of it.
Very cool. All right, Jeff Sims, Damon Benning, full hour. Looking forward to this getting going here in the next 45 minutes. If you want to be a part of it with a call or a text, certainly can do that as well at 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands, a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you were looking for with Woodhouse. We'll talk with DB coming up next.
One of the Nebraska Lottery's most explosively fun promotions is back. Cash Blast. Until April 18th, buy a 2x2 ticket, enter the voucher number, and you could win $5,000 or $500. If your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket or a multiple of 7 ticket, your prize is doubled. There will be 7 weekly drawings and 14 total winners in Cash Blast. So play today. You'll have a blast. But that goes without saying. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Ralston again delivers 1-2. And Andrews swings and blasts it. Deep left center field. And gone! Home home run, Brooke Andrews!
Hey Husker fans, on Friday, tune in with Nate Rohr and Maddie Fowler-Burkhart as Nebraska softball takes the field for Game 1 of their weekend series against Michigan. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:15 p.m. on the Huskers Radio Network. Tune in to your local affiliates or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Husker fans, don't miss your chance to get a first look at new head coach Matt Rule and the 2023 Husker football team. Be in Memorial Stadium on Saturday, April 22nd for the annual Nebraska football red and white spring game presented by FNBO. Tickets are on sale now and are only $10 when purchased in advance and $20 on the day of the game. To secure your tickets today or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
One of the Nebraska Lottery's most explosively fun promotions is back. Cash Blast. Until April 18th, buy a 2x2 ticket, enter the voucher number, and you could win $5,000 or $500. If your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket or a multiple of 7 ticket, your prize is doubled. There will be 7 weekly drawings and 14 total winners in Cash Blast. So play today. You'll have a blast. But that goes without saying. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Woodhouse Mazda is redefining car buying, so you can shop whenever you want, wherever you want. Shop our inventory, apply for financing, and start your deal online at woodhouseplacemazda.com or woodhousemazda.com. With our lineup of new Mazda CUVs like the Mazda CX-5 or a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle, we have a vehicle to fit the needs of your lifestyle. Our 2 convenient locations and our commitment to excellence make Woodhouse Mazda the easy choice.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Wednesday night. Sports Sunday here on the Huskers Radio Network. I hope you enjoyed last hour with Trev Alberts, where he made the big announcement that former coach, former player for the Huskers, Frank Solich, is going to come back and be honored at the spring game. And I thought, well, some guy that knows and played for Coach Solich, knows him as well as anybody that I know, is Damon Benning. And I thought maybe Damon could carve out a few minutes for us tonight, and he's kind enough to do that. Hello, DB. How are you?
Hey, how are you guys? It's not normal for me to have to get my composure, but I'm glad you gave me a couple extra minutes because there's not a lot of things that could make me cry, but this is up there.
Long time coming, Damon, and I know he's resisted this to no end, and so for Trev to finally convince him to come back, what does this mean to you? I mean, you're sharing some emotion. What does it mean?
Yeah, it's everything, you know, and just when you think about people that have had impact in your life and kind of what he's meant to me and my maturation. And it wasn't just while I was a player. He's invested in me since he's moved on to Ohio. And for me, like just on a personal level, outside of playing, just as a person, it's real reverence. He taught me toughness. He taught me discipline. He taught me the ability to turn the other cheek. To not be too prideful, yet be firm and like your conviction. He means everything to me. And he's without question, no disrespect to anybody else that was at the University of Nebraska when I was there. You know, I love Coach Osborne and we're extremely close. But if you talk impact, there's no one that's in the same neighborhood as Coach Solich.
Obviously, you can hear how much he means to you. I actually knew a couple guys that played with him from my time when I was still at Oklahoma. What is it about him that makes him such a great leader, such a great football coach that has made such an impact for so long in this game?
That's a fantastic question, first of all, because I never really could put my finger on it the first 10 or 12 years I was away from him. But as I kind of reflected, as I've tried to mature, there's a couple of things. Number one, he taught us to embrace competition and to not run from a challenge, where he was so upfront about who he was going to recruit, how he wanted to recruit, and what the standard was going to be. And a lot of times it's not for everybody. He would joke just enough to let you know he was human, but not too much to let you know that he was human. So he had this duality of competitive toughness, but he could put his arm around you and tell you he loved you. So I love the fact that he was versatile in his feelings. And the other thing is he kind of taught us, like, choose your words carefully. You know, he reminded me a lot of what my dad used to say. You know, my dad would say words matter, use them accordingly. And, you know, I was a guy, I was immature, ran my mouth all the time, and, you know, I was super rebellious, and you know, he just sat me down and he said, you know, you don't always need to talk so much. Sometimes you need to be quiet and let your actions speak for themselves, and people will figure it out. If they need an explanation, and you can give them one. And, you know, those are just things I took to heart, Jess. Like he kicked me out of practice and I literally with his right foot. And it was on that very machine that everybody made a big deal about A.J. Allen at practice, getting to talk to from Bartham. And immediately when I saw that video, you know, on Twitter, I said, hey, no judgment from me. I know what that's like. And that was one of the drills that I watched a young guy go through in 2023 that basically changed the trajectory of my career in 1993, right? I'm in my feelings about getting benched in Pasadena. a star was born in Lawrence Phillips, and I didn't respond well the first couple of weeks back from Pasadena, and he let me know that was going to be unacceptable, and I had some decisions to make, and for that I'll forever be grateful, because it's hard, man. He loved hard, and he got the best out of you. So that was a big deal for me.
Damon, I know this isn't something you'll have to even deal with because Frank is now retired, but you have a son that's recruitable age now, going through that process. Brendan Stye did send his son to go play for Frank at Ohio. Would you have had any hesitation to have your son go play for Coach Solich?
No, because a lot of the things that Caleb deals with and dealing with me, I've got from Coach Solich. I only know one way, and that's to compete and to embrace challenges. He coined the phrase. He would say, I turned it into I'd rather be caught with than without. And he used to say he would stay so fit and beat us in all these drills because he would say that he never wanted us to think that we had an edge on him as the coach. And I mean, he embodied it. And I think him constantly staying on the gas is something that I always admired. And I wouldn't have had any problems at all steering Caleb in that direction.
This was something that was very, very important to Trev. We just heard him talk very impassionately about it, but it was also important to Coach Rule. So what does that say about Coach Rule? And here's a new coach coming in, and he wanted to find a way to get Coach Solich back here to Lincoln.
Yeah, I just texted with him a couple of minutes ago, and I said thank you. To everybody that was involved. I had just reached out to Coach Solich, and he was appreciative of the response. But you're right. I mean, Coach Rule is a key cog, and it has to be right, especially knowing Coach Solich. I think whomever the representative is and that's overseeing the university has to kind of be in line with what he casts as a vision, somebody that he can see being appreciative of the steps that he's taken, because this isn't easy. It was extremely difficult for Coach Solich, and because of the connections and the relationships and Trev's persistence, I said the same thing to Trev. I said, just the level of appreciation for you and Coach Rule getting this done is it's unbelievable, because to be honest, and I think I know him as well as anybody that's still here in this state that's not family, this is monumental. You'd asked me a week ago, did I think that they could pull this off, and I would have probably told you no. So I think the love relationships and the persistence and just, being relentless in the pursuit of excellence, known as what Coach Solich meant to this university, it paid off.
DB, we appreciate it. Late notice. I appreciate you jumping on with us. We're 3 weeks in the spring game. We've got your chair hiked to the highest level for our little short pregame show. We'll be looking forward to that. That should be a fun day. It's not my favorite broadcast, I'll be honest with you, because guys are changing jerseys and moving everywhere. But it's more important that we have Jessica fired up and ready, because she's going to be doing a bunch of interviews down on the sidelines for us that day.
I'm ready.
Get your eagle eye ready. They practice so hard in the spring right now. I just hope they have enough able bodies to have a good look at it on the 22nd. I'm excited.
Hey, while we're on the topic, though, because I can't let you out of here without giving you a hard time, but
oh boy, I'm trying to help you here, DB.
We were just talking about the single digit numbers and all of that. And you just brought up how you got kicked out of practice. Would you have been a guy that got voted to wear a single digit number?
Well, see, I lost a dorm bathroom scuffle with Toby Ray, who was a junior college guy. He's a year and a half older than me, and I wore 3 in high school, and I wanted to wear 3 in college, and he was having none of it. And so I did the next best thing. I'm a huge Roger Craig guy, and 2 + 1 is 3, so I went with 21. So no, I would not have been a guy that would have done the single digits. I wasn't tough enough to win that fight.
I just have to separate you two all the time. It's exhausting to do that.
I mean, you kind of opened the door there, so I was just going to be nice. We're getting emotional, getting deep here.
Here's a quick story from.
When it comes to coach, it's just tough.
Yeah, I understand. Quick story for both of you. I'm doing the baseball game the other day, and somebody is yelling at my booth, "Oatmeal cookies! Oatmeal cookies!" Like, what in the world?
Well,
somebody with good taste, obviously, Greg.
He put out a tweet the other day saying which little Debbie or whatever would you choose, and someone tagged me in it, and I said, I guarantee you, whatever it is, it will be the opposite of Greg and Damon. And
Oatmeal
of course,
cream pies.
Yes, he picked that
That's
too.
what I'd be.
That's disgusting. That is the worst one on that list.
Yeah. At least, that's why I'm glad Greg and I work so close together, because we were on the road in Ann Arbor, and the first thing he said was, DB, they got oatmeal cookies.
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
Yeah, they
might have been the highlight of the day, honestly. But, DB, thank you. Thanks for sharing with us.
I appreciate it, you guys.
There he is. Damon Benning with us here on Sports Night. Joined us on our Sports Night hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. We're back to hear from Jeff Sims, the transfer quarterback from Georgia Tech. We'll do that next.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Looking for a car buying experience tailored to you? Start with Woodhouse, a trusted partner for automotive needs and a proud member of the Nebraska community. With 18 brands and 21 sales and service locations, our dedicated Woodhouse team is ready to provide you a convenient and seamless transaction from anywhere. Whether purchasing, selling, or servicing, experience the difference with Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Baseball season has arrived, and your local Cenex has all your favorite snacks and beverages for the game. So whether you're hitting the road for an away game, headed to Haymarket Park, or going to cheer on your favorite local team, make Cenex your destination for top quality fuel, your favorite snacks, and service from a local smile. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally at Cenex.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. UNL has been awarded over $14 million by the U.S. Department of Commerce to expand robotics research and teaching spaces, part of a $25 million award given to the state of Nebraska to advance robotics research. The funding will allow the university to educate and train the next generation of Nebraska workers, entrepreneurs, and innovators for careers of the future.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night. Huskers did not practice today. They'll practice tomorrow. We'll have a full practice report for you tomorrow night here on the program. They did yesterday. They had media availability, and you got to check in with the new QB on this roster.
I did, and he had class, so he was kind of hurried a little bit, so not as long as a conversation, but did get to chat with Jeff Sims, and you'll see if you're watching on the YouTube stream, he is a tall guy. Well, how are you settling in?
I'm settling in well. I mean, it's an adjustment with the weather, but other than that, it's going good.
I hear it's supposed to be getting better, but it is a little chilly here than you're probably used to, right?
Yeah, I'm from Florida. It's probably like 80 degrees right now, so it's about 30-something out now, and, you know, I've got to get used to it.
How you liking Lincoln?
I like Lincoln. It kind of surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be this nice. You know, it's a chill town, you know, and it's very peaceful.
So take me through when you make the decision that you're going to transfer, why you landed on Nebraska, why this was the spot for you.
Well, I came on my visit, and it was just a good vibe, you know. I was talking with Coach Rule and Coach Sat, and I like their philosophy, and I like the way they think, and I just felt like it was the right place for me. How's practice going? It's going good. Yeah. It's going really good. I'm building relationships with the guys, building chemistry, and we are just getting better every day.
Yeah, what goes into that as a quarterback and building those relationships with your wide receivers and the guys that you're spreading the ball around to?
It really just comes down to taking time to get to know them. You know, one thing I pride myself on is getting to know people. I'm a big relationship guy, so I feel like if you build a relationship with people, I mean, that makes you go out there and work harder for each other, which leads to better production.
Obviously, quarterback's a natural leadership position. How did you go about approaching getting acclimated in the locker room and getting to know the guys and just getting, around and more familiar with the guys that are here?
Just talking to new people every day. And one thing I started doing was, just trying to find things to do outside of the locker room with the guys and seeing what we can do to build chemistry. And I started going bowling every Friday or every weekend with them. And a lot of guys, they was like, you want to go bowling for? And it's crazy because they're starting to like it now, and we all starting to just hang out on the weekends and build that relationship.
Fedoni brought up bowling.
Yeah.
So are you a good bowler then? He says he's pretty good.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Are you the best then?
Between me and Xavier Betts, he's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Get pretty competitive though?
Yeah, it does. It gets really competitive, and it's actually a great thing to see.
What was what have been your goals? What have you wanted to accomplish personally here this spring ball?
Just find ways to better myself each day, and just come out of this thing with what I want, and just come in here and just affect people every day.
And overall for the offense, what do you guys need to get accomplished?
We need to be the best offense in the Big Ten. And that's our mindset, and that's how we approach every day.
And how do you feel like, with each day you guys are learning? I know maybe installing what you can, but how do you feel like so far it's going, that process is going?
I think for everything that they're throwing at us, we're doing a great job. I mean, the offense, we've been going hard this offseason, so I think the coaches are doing a good job of giving us situations and just having us handle them, and I feel like we're doing a good job handling it.
Coach Rule said this is probably the most talented quarterback room he's ever seen. What's it been like being a part with all those guys in there?
Oh, yeah, those guys, they cool, they funny. I mean, it's a great quarterback room, and one thing I like about it is how the competition makes all of us better. Our biggest goal is to make each other better, and that is very evident in the quarterback room that you see that.
Last thing I got for you, how excited are you for this fan base? I know they're excited to see you play, but for the spring game, already over 50,000 tickets sold.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never heard of a spring game having that many people there, so I'm very excited to see it, and I've heard a lot about the fan base, and I've experienced some of it, so I'm very excited to see it.
I always like talking to the guys, the new guys, and mentioning, hey, over 50,000 for a spring game, and their eyes always just completely light up about how excited they are. But I also find it funny, too, every time I ask somebody about a certain competition, they always say they're the best, like bowling.
Sure.
Like, Fedoni said he was the best bowler, of course, I mean, and now he and Xavier Betts, they very rarely give credit to the other when it's not football. It's they're always the best. I mean, it's competitive, and that's what Coach Rule has been preaching, and they compete, and that's what they've been doing and everything that they're doing. And I also wanted to make note of the quarterback comment that he made about the room and them wanting to make each other better. When I talked to Heinrich Harburg, he said the same thing. I mean, they are constantly, it's a team effort. I know everybody wants to be the starter, but they understand that they, as a group, have to come together and do it together, and I think they've all bought into that.
It's going to be fun to follow. Obviously, he's going to be a big focal point for the fans because Casey's not going to compete in the spring game. So when everybody sees this team march out there, they're going to see a lot of Jeff Sims, I think, on the 22nd.
I think Casey's throwing a little bit, though.
Starting to, yeah. Yeah,
so when I saw him at the pro day, he was, you could tell he's chomping at the bit to try to throw the ball around a little bit. So he'll, of all the guys, like that's a guy that's learned 5 different offenses, knows how to attack a playbook, knows how to watch film. And so for Casey, you don't worry as much. And even Logan's been around and has had to learn new offenses too.
That's
so at least they've been through this before and understand what it takes to attack learning an offense, even despite not being able to be out there.
Good to hear and see Jeff Sims, tall quarterback, much taller than Casey.
Yes.
Quite a bit taller than Casey is. Tim in Minnesota says he's a fan of oatmeal cookies as well. Chocolate chip, he can go either way on those two things. So there's another check mark for oatmeal cookies.
It's funny someone was yelling that at you.
Yeah, at the baseball game the other day. Folks, buckle up. Put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 402-413-2400. Still time if you want to be a part of the program. We're back with more next.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic. Husker fans, don't miss your chance to get a first look at new head coach Matt Rule and the 2023 Husker football team. Be in Memorial Stadium on Saturday, April 22nd for the annual Nebraska football red and white spring game presented by FNBO. Tickets are on sale now and are only $10 when purchased in advance and $20 on the day of the game. To secure your tickets today or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Nebraska has taken over leadership from Princeton University in coordinating the U.S. physics community at the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. For its role, Nebraska has been awarded over $50 million in National Science Foundation grants. This cutting-edge work at the world's largest particle accelerator helps physicists uncover the origins and makeup of the universe. I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Students in Nebraska's Rake School of Computer Science and Management created software that is saving a Nebraska e-commerce company 34,000 hours of work per year. Created by a group of 5 Rake School students for their Design Studio Capstone project, this software is one of 300 real-world software solutions created by Rake School students.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. A few minutes left in our program. If you want to be a part of this one, 402-413-2400. Also want to tell you that First Interstate Bank built for you. Learn more at www.firstinterstatebank.com, member FDIC. Rounded out the end of March, we got the Final Fours coming up this weekend. One Big Ten women's team still alive. The Iowa Hawkeyes made it to their Final Four. And, boy, I think we anticipated the Big Ten men not having much success, and they really didn't. Just Michigan State even made the Sweet 16. The women did really well. I mean, you got 3 in the Final 8. That's really, really showed up well.
It's really good, and they were competitive. I know, 2 teams pulled away a little bit, but I think they had a good showing. It wasn't just a complete runaway, and you saw at least it was competitive for a little while. You saw, South Carolina has been so great, dominant, and the fact that Maryland put up a pretty decent fight there for a while, and Ohio State as well. But, yeah, I'm excited, and even Cole, I came in today, and Cole was like, I can't wait for that Iowa-South Carolina game. I mean, I think it's so good for the game, and Caitlin, as much as she's an Iowa person, but she's been great for the game. I've maintained that for a long time as far as bringing awareness and eyeballs to women's athletics, and I can't wait to see what the official ratings are on this NCAA tournament, because I think you've seen more competitiveness, you've seen more close games, you've seen some upsets, some teams that haven't necessarily you didn't expect to win, that hadn't been all chalk, and there's more superstars now thanks to NIL and social media. That the Cavender twins, Miami made a good run, and then you're seeing Caitlin Clark do some good things, the Louisville Haley Van Lith, who was a big name as well. You're seeing some of the stars shine its brightest, and I think people are tuning in to see that.
Caitlin Clark's the biggest name in college basketball.
Yes.
Men or women? She is. She's the biggest name.
So Chuck, the play-by-play guy for the Bulls, what's his last name?
I don't know.
Okay, I follow him on Twitter for some reason. He tweeted the other day that he thinks that Caitlin should get a tryout with the NBA.
She just is. People lock onto her, and you can like her, hate her style, whatever it is. People love to watch her play.
I mean, it is it's must-see TV, just the way that she does so many different things. And I have been the first to say it. I've said it on this program. I've said it out loud. I'm a referee's daughter. My brother is a referee, a Division I women's basketball referee. I don't like how she complains about every call. I don't think that is a good example to set for so many people that are looking up to her. And I would say that about men when they complain about referees. I say that about women. I wish she would tone that down a little bit as far as the complaining and crying about calls not always going her way, but just her gameplay and what she can do is unbelievable. It's mind-blowing. I love watching it. I appreciate her game so much. It has been great for the sport, and I like to watch her play, actually.
Let's go to the phones. Husker Dan joining us next. Good evening, Dan. How are you?
Hey, Greg and Jessica. How are you tonight?
Good, thanks.
Hey, I just want to, I know you're ending the show here. I just want to elaborate what you guys are talking about, Iowa playing Friday night for the, that basketball game with Clark. Well, I'm not a big fan of hers. I know she is a great basketball player, in my opinion, but her, I don't know, I just think her personality and how her demeanor and everything, personality is the biggest word, I guess, I want to say, but when they played Nebraska, I thought she should have had 3 technicals, and they weren't called. And I hope they get beat. I'm not a big Iowa fan, and I just, I'm glad she got that award today. I seen that, and it's, kudos to her. I don't hate anybody, but I just dislike her for her actions. I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. Yeah. And Dan, thanks for the phone call. Yeah, I think, and Jessica just touched on that right before you came on, that her antics do wear on you if you watch that. And I can certainly see that. That's a legit criticism.
And I don't love that again, she is. You just said it. It's been said since this tournament started. She is the face of women's basketball. And you have all these little girls that are coming to watch her play and seeing her, throw up her hands at every single call. Like she never fouls or she always gets fouled. And I wish she would clean that up. And that's kind of been something that they've let get out of hand. That's the star treatment a little bit. And you see that best players on all levels get that treatment. And I do wish that would change a little bit, but you have to be so appreciative of her game and what she can do with the basketball. And that only comes with living in the gym. And I have so much admiration and respect for somebody who has put in the time to get their game to where it is, and that she lives in the gym. She's put in the work, and it's coming to fruition. The way she can pull up and shoot from half court, she can get to the rim, and then her ability to pass the basketball is just, that is just a part of the game that I appreciate so much. It's why I love Jazz Shelley's game so much. The way that she can find her teammates open, she makes her teammates, and she gets it. They were making a lot about how she was skip passing it. She gets it right in the money spot of where, if you're a shooter, where you want it to be so you can release it right away. She makes it, just perfect passes too. So I got to appreciate her game. I do wish she'd stop crying to the referees, bottom line. But I do really appreciate her game.
Women's semifinals Friday. The men's are on Saturday. Will anybody watch the men's? I'm not sure I will, honestly.
I'm more intrigued for the women than the men at this point.
Florida Atlantic against South San Diego State. All right. Great show tonight. Thanks for Trev Alberts for coming in. Thanks for DB jumping on late with us. That was a late last-second ad, but after the Frank news came out, we wanted to get DB on the program. Tomorrow night, practice report. We'll also hear from Ron Revelle. Huskers have a huge series coming up this weekend against the Michigan Wolverines out at Bullen Stadium. We'll hear from the Husker softball coach tomorrow night on the program. Thanks to Cole for steering the ship tonight, and all of you for listening. We'll see you again here tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimate CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
It's Ram Truck Month at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair. Your shopping experience in new 2023 Ram 1500 will surpass your expectations. With Woodhouse Ram, your car buying journey is on your terms. In-store off Highway 30 in Blair or online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com, where you can shop our inventory, apply for financing, and live chat with our sales team. Discover the 2023 Ram 1500